When ads don't perform, most teams assume the problem started after launch. They look at the creative, the targeting, the budget, or the platform itself. But in my experience, most ads don't fail because of what happens after they go live. They fail because of what was never set up before launch. Before you ever run ads, there are a few questions that matter more than anything else. What can the system actually see? What behavior can it learn from? And what assumptions are we making about how people decide? Ads don't create learning. They amplify whatever learning already exists. If the system doesn't have meaningful signals before launch, no amount of optimization after launch can fix that. Let me describe a situation I see often. A company has a defined audience, steady inbound traffic, a working funnel, and a clear growth goal. They launch ads to scale. Clicks happen, reach expands, spend increases. But performance plateaus or becomes unpredictable. At that point, teams might assume the audience is saturated, creative fatigue is the issue, or the platform just isn't finding the right people. But what's actually happening is more subtle. When performance stalls, the instinct is to react. Test more creative, broaden targeting, increase spend, wait for the algorithm to figure it out. But here's the problem. You can't optimize your way out of missing inputs. If the system doesn't understand why previous conversions happened, expanding reach just spreads uncertainty. Scaling magnifies weak learning. In these cases, the real issue usually isn't the ads. It's what's happening after the click. Traffic is sent to general pages, behavior is ambiguous, signals are shallow. And everything depends on the final conversion. From the system's perspective, most users look the same. There's no clear distinction between curiosity, interest, readiness, or resistance. The problem wasn't the ads. The system had nothing new to learn as reach expanded. This becomes critical as platforms try to find new audiences. At scale, the system relies heavily on early and mid-funnel behavior to model similarity and predict intent. When those signals are missing, audience expansion degrades, costs rise, and performance becomes fragile. Small budgets feel this first, but larger budgets feel it more expensively. This isn't about adding more tools or tactics. It's about designing for learning. Pages should create intentional behavior. Signals should exist before conversion. The system should be taught how to recognize qualified interest, not just rewarded when a sale happens. This is a system design problem, not a channel problem. This is where experience matters. Not because experienced people run better ads, but because they know what must exist before scale. Fixing foundations early prevents wasted expansion. Clarity costs far less than correction. Experience doesn't make ads better, it makes mistakes shorter, especially when stakes are high. Ads don't fail randomly, they fail predictably. And most failures happen before anything ever goes live. When you design for learning first, scaling becomes far less risky, and performance becomes far more stable. That's why diagnosis comes before execution, and why interpretation matters long after the launch.